The universe is vast, but sometimes the smallest sound can change everything. Jace Halden had spent the last 5 years of his life drifting in the cargo sector of the Glorian Belt, repairing ships and occasionally running minor salvage operations. Life had taught him to be cautious, and trust was a luxury he didn't afford easily. Yet, all of that changed on a cold, gray morning when the freighter Arden Sky picked up a faint distress signal from an uncharted asteroid field. The signal was almost imperceptible, a barely audible whisper of sound buried beneath the usual static of space. He adjusted the frequency, squinting at the console. "That's unusual," he muttered. The transmission repeated, a soft, melodic hum, almost like a human whisper, but undeniably alien. "Are you seeing this, Kale?" he asked his co-pilot, a wiry engineer with quick reflexes and a skeptical expression.
Kale leaned in.
"Yeah, doesn't look like any standard distress call. Could be a trap." Jace shook his head. "Could be someone in trouble too. And I'm not ignoring a life signal." The Arden Sky maneuvered carefully through the jagged asteroid field. The signal led them to a partially concealed cave within a massive asteroid. Inside, the walls glimmered faintly with iridescent veins of unknown minerals. At the center, Jace spotted her. She was small, almost fragile-looking, with translucent skin that shimmered in blues and violets. Her eyes were enormous and golden, reflecting the dim light like liquid sunlight. She crouched amidst a field of strange, glowing flora, and when she saw the ship, she froze. Jace felt a strange pull in his chest. He had rescued people before, humans and otherwise, but something about her quiet presence demanded patience, not force. "Hey," he said softly, keeping his hands visible. "We're here to help. Can you hear me?" The girl's lips moved, producing a sound that was almost inaudible. Jace leaned closer, straining. Then he realized he could understand her. Somehow, her whisper had a direct path into his mind, bypassing language entirely. "I am alone. Please help." Jace's heart skipped. "I hear you. We'll get you out of here." The asteroid was unstable. Sensors indicated tremors from a nearby fissure, and strange energy readings pulsed around the cave. The alien girl, he realized she was a human, yet somehow her presence felt gentle, almost grounding, didn't speak again verbally. Instead, she gestured, pointing toward a tunnel that descended further into the asteroid. "We need to follow her," Jace said to Kale. "She knows where it's safe." They descended cautiously. The walls were covered in bioluminescent fungi, illuminating paths and casting eerie shadows. Every step made the floor tremble, and the faint whisper followed them, guiding them, always gentle, always patient. Hours passed, though time felt distorted in the cavern. Jace discovered something extraordinary. The alien girl could manipulate energy. With a quiet hum, she caused small stones to levitate, moving them to create a safe path over crumbling ground. She never spoke, yet her communication was clear. "Trust me." Kale watched in awe. "This is unbelievable. She's controlling energy fields." Jace nodded, impressed but wary. "Doesn't matter how powerful she is, we need to keep moving." At the end of the tunnel, they discovered a massive chamber. It looked like a laboratory, long abandoned, filled with shattered equipment and containers marked with strange symbols. And in the center, Jace found the source of the whisper, an alien core device, still faintly pulsing. Kale bent down, examining the readings. This is a life support nexus. She's been surviving off this energy field for years." The girl stepped closer, and the whispers grew warmer, more human now. "I couldn't leave. They wouldn't let me." "They?" Jace asked. "Who trapped you?" Her golden eyes glimmered, sad and distant.
Scientists.
Hunters. They wanted to study me. I escaped, but they tracked me here. Jace clenched his fists. He hated cruelty in all forms, and now it was personal. "We're getting you out," he said. The return path was more dangerous. The fissures in the asteroid were growing, sending tremors and minor quakes that threatened to collapse tunnels. As they navigated, a shadow appeared, dark, enormous, and moving with terrifying precision. It was a sentry drone, left behind by those who capture her. Its eyes glowed red, and it moved with mechanical precision. Jace raised his pulse blaster. "Kale, cover me. She's coming with us." The alien girl stepped forward, hands outstretched. A soft hum filled the chamber, and the drone faltered. Sparks flew from its circuits, and it collapsed motionless. She disabled it," Kale said, stunned. Jace nodded. "Yeah, and we're still alive because of her." They moved swiftly, the alien guiding them, until the surface was in sight. Outside, the ardent sky hovered, engines ready. Jace helped her aboard, careful not to startle her. She looked around the ship with a mixture of curiosity and fear. Once the doors closed, she finally whispered, audibly this time, in a language that sounded almost musical. Jace understood every word as if her voice resonated directly in his mind. "Thank you. I thought no one would ever come." The journey back through the asteroid field was tense. Sensors picked up other drones searching for her, but with her guidance, they avoided every threat. For the first time in years, Jace felt a kind of calm he hadn't experienced since leaving Earth. Over the following weeks, the alien girl, who Jace eventually named Lyra after the constellation she resembled, adapted to life aboard the ship. She was gentle, curious, and possessed an otherworldly intelligence. More than that, she communicated through whispers, small gestures, and the subtle manipulation of energy, which fascinated the crew. Jace found himself thinking of her constantly. Not romantically, not at first, but there was a bond forming, deep and unspoken. She had changed the rhythm of his life, introduced him to wonder he had long forgotten, and challenged him to see the universe, not as a place to survive in, but as a place to truly live. One night, as the stars stretched endlessly outside the viewport, Lyra approached him. Her whisper was barely audible, yet it felt as though it filled the entire room. "You saved me, and yet, you've let me save you too." Jace froze. He realized she was right. Her presence had changed him, opened him to emotions and possibilities he had buried under years of loneliness and work. "What do you mean?" he asked softly. She reached for his hand. Energy pulsed lightly through her fingertips, warm and comforting. "Life is not just about surviving, Jace. You showed me trust, and I returned it. You've let your heart live again." He swallowed hard. I don't know what to say." "You don't have to. Just listen and feel." In that moment, Jace understood. The quiet whisper that had called him into the asteroid was more than a call for help. It was an invitation into friendship, wonder, and connection that transcended species, planets, and even logic. Months later, the Ardent Sky became more than a salvage ship. It was a home for two souls bound by trust and curiosity. Together, they explored uncharted systems, discovered abandoned civilizations, and faced dangers that would have broken anyone else. And through it all, the alien girl's quiet whispers guided him, not just through space, but through the corridors of his own heart. One evening, hovering near a ringed gas giant, Lyra whispered again, "The universe is vast, but you are not alone." Jace smiled, looking at the stars reflected in her golden eyes. He realized she had been right all along. Life was not just about surviving, it was about listening, understanding, and opening oneself to the impossible. And that one quiet whisper had changed everything. From that day forward, Jace Halden no longer drifted alone. He had a companion, a friend, and a guide, an alien girl whose whispers carried the weight of hope, wonder, and love across the stars. And every adventure they shared reminded him that some encounters were destined to alter the course of a life forever. Ending, Lyra's quiet whispers had saved him in ways he hadn't expected. She had taught him patience, empathy, and the power of connection. And in return, Jace had given her trust, protection, and freedom. Together, they became explorers of both the universe and each other's hearts, a bond forged not by words, but by quiet understanding, shared risks, and the gentle strength of a whisper. The stars stretched infinitely before them, and for the first time, Jace didn't feel small in the vastness. He felt alive, guided by a quiet voice that had changed his life forever.